Donald Trump has a very important message for everyone, okay? If he wants to commit a crime, he is smart enough to commit a crime without anyone knowing about it, which is a curious thing for someone to say when he conducts chopper talk like this.
China should start an investigation into the Bidens, because what happened in China is just about as bad as what happened with Ukraine. So I would say that President Zelensky, if it were me, I would recommend that they start an investigation into the Bidens.
Now, as we all know, asking foreign governments to launch investigations into political opponents to give someone an edge in a re-election campaign is against the law. That's why he's facing an impeachment investigation. So why is Trump now arguing that he's smart enough to commit a crime? Well, it's actually in response to an editorial by the board, the editorial board at the Wall Street Journal. They wrote an interesting piece. The Wall Street Journal's editorial board argued that any talk of impeaching Trump is silly in large part because the president is likely too bumbling to execute that kind of scandalous quid pro quo.
That is so funny. I don't know if they watched the show. I have called Trump a serial bungler and a serial bumbler several times.
It's amazing.
And now here's the Wall Street Journal editorial board backing him up by saying he's just simply too stupid to commit these crimes effectively.
The Wall Street Journal board, editorial board, is notoriously conservative, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Let me actually read you an excerpt from what they wrote. Intriguingly, Mr. Bill Taylor says in his statement that many people in the administration opposed the Rudy Giuliani effort, including some in senior positions at the White House. This matters because it may turn out that while Mr. Trump wanted a quid pro quo policy ultimatum toward Ukraine, he was too inept to execute it. Impeachment for incompetence would disqualify most of the government and most presidents at some point or another in office. So apparently Trump saw that piece and he didn't like it. He got real salty about it. In fact, an anonymous White House source spoke to the Daily Beast, and then another White House source corroborated it. And here's what the piece says. The president mentioned he had seen it, and then he started saying things like, what are they talking about? If I wanted to do quid pro quo, I would have done the damn quid pro quo, and then defended his intelligence, and then talked about how perfect the call with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky was. And then the source also said, he was clearly unhappy. He did not like the word inept.
Okay. So you know that you're not very bright if you go around saying, I could commit crimes. You know, I'm being investigated for committing a crime, but I could do it. And if I did do it, I would do it really smart. I don't like people defending me by saying I didn't commit the crime because I'm too stupid. You see how I proved it? No, you didn't prove it. You actually proved how stupid you are by saying incredibly stupid things like, I could commit crimes. I'm the president, but I could commit crimes. I'm smart enough to commit crimes. Who says I'm smart enough to commit crimes? Who says that? I guess a person who's like a smart person.
Okay, so I want to point to other things that Donald Trump has done that are not even related to this impeachment investigation, including signing the reimbursement check to Michael Cohen for the hush money payments that they paid to, adult stars right before the election. So there's that. There's also the fact that Donald Trump defrauded students with Trump University, and he had to pay a $22 million settlement as a result of that. Looks like he got caught there. He also got caught.
If I was going to do a scam, I'd be smart enough to not get caught, so I would have to pay 23 million. I would only pay 22 million.
I'm not even done yet. Then there's the fact that he used his own charitable foundation to pay off his own settlements, which is also illegal. I mean, the list goes on and on. He's committed all sorts of crimes that he's paid some consequences for. I would argue not enough. And so for him to say, oh, I'm smart enough to commit crimes and not get caught is ridiculous and lacks any and all self-awareness.
Look, if they criticize the Clinton Foundation for taking money from other governments and then using it for what everyone agrees is actually good causes, healthcare, fighting poverty, et cetera. But they were like, hey, I don't know that you should take money from Saudi Arabia because they might be trying to influence you. That's a fair and interesting point, right? Donald Trump took money for charity and then used it to pay his bills. Not to help with diseases or poverty or anything like that. He's a lifelong criminal. If you did that with your charity, you'd be in prison, okay? One of the things he bought was a 6-foot portrait of himself. That's who Donald Trump is. If I was a criminal, I'd be a smart one. I'd run a charity where I didn't do any charity and kept buying portraits of myself, because he bought 2. Okay, 2 different ones at 2 different times. Anyway, but you actually left out the biggest one. The conservatives have made this argument before, and it was about obstruction. This was in the Mueller report. He told the White House counsel, you must go lie to Congress. But the White House counsel at the time was ethical enough to say, no, I'm going to ignore your order because I'm not going to perjure myself. I'm not going to commit that crime. And a lot of conservatives said, see, Trump was too inept to be able to actually finish the job of committing obstruction of justice. So if he was smarter and more competent at breaking the law, he would have got his White House counsel to break the law. But since the counsel didn't do it, then I guess he's okay because he's an idiot, right? So this is a common defense of Donald Trump, which I kind of love. And Anna, to go back to the very core of the issue here, you said in your intro, as we all know, that's a crime. He literally doesn't know that. So he thinks the quid pro quo is a crime. That's why he keeps hiding the quid pro quo, although very badly at that. Now we've got witness after witness.
Very smart. I'm very good at hiding the quid pro quo.
Yeah, when I told my ambassador to do the quid pro quo, but I said, shush, I hid it. I did the perfect shush. Okay, but anyway, he doesn't know that simply asking a foreign government, not just Ukraine, but like you saw in the video, he asked China in front of international television, right? In front of everyone, in front of the whole world. Please look into my political opponent that is asking for help on your political campaign from a foreign government. It is illegal, but the moron doesn't know that. And so he's like, what do you mean? It was perfect the way I asked for them to help with Biden. And if it was up to me, the Ukraine, I would have them investigate my political opponent too. You just admitted another crime.
Can I also say one thing? Look, I don't know if I'm really buying whether or not he. I think he knows that you can't ask a foreign government to dig up dirt on your political rival, because what does he accuse Hillary Clinton of over and over again? That Hillary Clinton worked with a foreign government to dig up dirt on Donald Trump and Paul Manafort, remember? Yeah,
but I think he's using that one as like a political talking point. But kind of like, oh yeah, that one does back to you. It wasn't me. It was you who did it, right?
No, but he's
like
been
a third
making
grade
this argument forever. I mean, even way before this impeachment investigation.
But George Stephanopoulos was in the Oval Office interviewing him, and he asked him, you know that you can't, would you take an offer of help from a foreign government in your political campaign? He flat out asked, he said, would you like, Trump's like, well, of course I would look at it. And Stephanopoulos is like, that's kind of you'd have to turn it over to the FBI, wouldn't you? He's like, okay, maybe I do both. Maybe I look at it, then I turn it over to the FBI. No, not maybe I do, but he doesn't know.
That's illegal, you can't do that.
Of course you can't do that, but he doesn't know that. And so, by the way, if you're a conservative going, see, the president is too stupid. First of all, congratulations. Second of all, ignorance of the law is no excuse. If you broke the law and told the cops, it's okay, I didn't know it was illegal, you wouldn't get away with it. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.